Wow. Please welcome BAFTA and Oscar nominee, Sebastian Stan. That's for you. Welcome.
God, that was like the longest clip in the world.
I loved it. I could have watched twice as long. I was
nightmares every night.
Do you know what? As I was watching that again, because it's been 5 months since I've seen the movie, what must this experience have been like for you, having come from, I mean, you've made movies of every possible budget, right? From the huge Marvel ones to this. What did this one feel like in comparison to some of the other ones that you've done, just on the set?
There was nothing like it, honestly. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, that day actually was the January 3rd. It was right after Christmas break. And I was so worried about it because that scene and the end scene of the movie were in the same location. We were very location dependent. And, they're important scenes, but there was no time. There was always, not enough time, and obviously this is, this guy, right? So there was a degree of trying to always work with what is the truth of it and get past all of the pitfalls that you could fall into,
I mean, I just think about like the journey. I hate to even use that's like on The Bachelor, but the journey that this movie has had. Like, were people going to see it? Were they not going to see it? Was it going to be in 2 theaters? What was going to happen? Was it going to sink? Was it going to get in trouble? Blah, blah. And now here you are on this stage as an Academy Award nominee for this performance. And it's so right. Does it almost make it more satisfying because it was unclear if this was even going to see the light of day in the general public way?
I mean, both Jeremy and I, who, I love, and I really was very lucky to have him as a partner, who's incredible, are deeply, deeply grateful to obviously have had, this recognition, and it was just hard to ever, you never knew. It was so uncertain. You couldn't expect anything ever. And I had many people say, well, you're never going to win anything for this. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's not just about that, right? It just felt like it was important, and there's mixed feelings about it. We went through an election while we were doing this, so it was there were so many feelings, and there are still feelings. There's not just one thing. It is really beautiful to because now the movie gets seen, more people can go in there, they can continue to look and try to understand, because we have to understand. That's the one thing. This is not a situation where we can be indifferent or we can bury our heads in the sand and wait to wake up and then see what happens. It's happening now, and it's just, I think, we're living in a world where you've got billionaires that are telling you how to think and how to feel, and everyone's screaming at each other if you're thinking differently. And this is just about forming your own opinion and being able to have courage to say that, So that's why I admire the movie. And
the performance is so perfect in so many ways because it's not overdone. It's just spot on. The hands, the mouth. There's so much about it where I watched it and I was like, yes. I mean, but again, not too much. What unlocked it for you to get it right?
Well, I mean, there was obviously so much footage, and it was really helpful. And part of it was learning like a new instrument. It's just like you're sitting there, you're practicing every day until you just do it in your sleep. You just can wake up and do it. But I worked with this amazing dialect coach, Liz Himmelstein, who's incredible, and we really were focusing on the consonants. It's like, even the lips had a purpose, right? They weren't just there for no reason. It was forming around certain consonants where you are doing things. And then we were realizing that actually he doesn't breathe, to be honest. That's why it's all in the throat. He doesn't actually breathe into his body, which was interesting because everything was really up here. And so again, that was a fascinating thing, because then you look at his posture and you wonder why that is that way. I mean, I guess maybe his obsession with Clint Eastwood movies, like and where the stare down came from. I mean, it's like for a guy that wants to be taken as original, he's really pretty good at stealing. But you know, but but at the end of the day, it's look, you know, I just we wanted to try to literally give him like a shot and understand what it is about him that's the drive and what's underneath all that. And I think when you go back to like the Rona Barrett interview, which I would like basically listen to every day in the makeup chair, I would just play the Rona Barrett interview. And it's the first time he's like got his own sort of 1 hour special on him. And it's 1977. It's on YouTube. And, you know, he's shifting his seat. He can't hold eye contact. He's confident about certain things, but he's finding himself in that thing. And that was very revealing to me, you know. So
you talk about Jeremy Strong, and I am also he's a former virtuoso here, and I'm really glad that he got the nomination too. When you think back to like the days where he was on set with you, what felt special about those days?
It's like I just didn't know what was going to happen, you know? And I think that to me as an actor, like that's what you dream of, you know? You spend months preparing as best as you can for lightning to strike. Like that's how I think of it. And it's like, and then you go there and you want to be surprised and be in the moment. And Jeremy, you know, we never really spoke, like we never hung out. We never spoke the entire time. We met before at this sort of like weird nightclub that kind of like basically is like the first scene in the movie that we have. And then we sort of realized we were going to trust each other. And then I would only see him on set, you know, we would just be in character. And there was a degree of tension there that kind of, I think, helped us by the end. But he's incredible at, you know, just wanting to find that truthful moment and surprise you. And that's what you want.
It's just such an interesting time for you. You know, you win the Golden Globe for A Different Man, and then you get an Oscar nomination for The Apprentice. This is a strange question to ask you, but what are you proud of as far as what you've been able to achieve with both of these films in the same season?
You know, A Different Man was, again, another film that I really care deeply about. We did 2 years ago, and it's also a film that like kind of, I'm proud of being able to have worked with these filmmakers that are so, to me, that are out there right now, like fearlessly just trying to confront us with things that we're not used to, you know, like Aaron Schimberg is an incredible filmmaker, and he's teaching you and me and all of us how to handle disability in a different way, how to be curious about it, how to have permission to be curious, because that's part of the problem, as I've learned, is that we don't know how to you know, look at it. We have these narratives, and it's so black and white we don't even realize it. And for a Golden Globe like that moment, it was like that movie got to be seen. It was #1 on Max, you know, streaming, and more people are discovering it, and they're discovering Adam Pearson in a different way. And I think what I was saying is like, we want to keep exposing ourselves. I think, you know, that's what's beautiful about the movies. It's like you want to keep, like Sing Sing, fucking, that movie's unbelievable, you know. And I'm glad he's here. But like, how would you know about that world if you didn't go to the movies, right? Like it has to be, you have to expose yourself to things that are uncomfortable or are unknown, right? And that's what I love about it.
Such an exciting time. I'm so glad that you're here. Sebastian Stan, everyone. Thank you. 7 down, 1 to go, unfortunately, but it's Selena Gomez from Emilia Perez. Let's take a look at Selena in the film.